so the scenario with the charge of me sending my horse after her to have sex with her, she has to provide the evidence, and it has to be video evidence. It can't be hearsay. And she's providing that on the 18th. And she has a restraining order on me, so my lawyers keeps asking them, if you have a restraining order against this guy and he's doing all these horrible things to you, why aren't you calling the police? Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, so this charge is going to be looked at on the 18th of December. I'm a bit worried because I don't trust the justice system here too much. And anyways, let's see what's going to happen. This environmental charge, I'm moving forward with it. I'm going to be very proactive and fight back because everything they've said is a complete lie, and she's falsified information now. We're going to go after her on that. We're going to ask the Ministry of Environment to come back and to investigate her dam that she built to gather water or gather gravel. And we'll see how this all turns out, and I just wanted everyone to be in the loop. I have condemning video now of her cutting down some massive trees. I've gone to the Ministry of Forestry and the Ministry of Environment to lay charges against her. They're very reluctant. They don't really have time. This tree was right in the middle of the river. It was very important to keep the river together, from it to take out more of the loose gray soil. Anyways, they cut the tree down. The tree fell and took out a whole bunch of other trees. It did so much damage in the river, and she got $20 for that tree. The guy who cut it down, he told me he's paying her $20. So she would give up this massive tree for $20. Yeah, here we're measuring how far away this dam is that she's built. She put this dam in the claim, and it's 35 meters away from my property line. Why would I build a dam 35 meters away from my land? It has absolutely no function or use to me. So here we're actually taking a tape measure out to figure out how far away this dam actually is. And we're running this tape, 30-meter tape, and it didn't reach, so we're 5 meters short. So anyways, to the center of the dam, it's actually 35 meters. So you can see how far away the Franco is standing there. And we're running this tape just to give the Ministry of Environment an idea of how falsified this documentation is. She's claiming that I built this dam. I have evidence of her son saying to me directly that this dam was built by him. This white rock shows up in the imagery of her environmental charges, so it's a great landmark. So here we're laying out the tape measures 30 meters away from the property and another 5 meters that way into the center of this dam. So here you can see the trees that they've cut down. You can see the destruction. It makes me sick to see all these nice trees cut down. It's the only thing keeping this land in place, but they don't care. They just cut everything down. And 2 weeks ago, this was completely covered with a solid forest and understory, completely filled up with birds and other animals, but everything's macheted to death. It's just completely chewed up. Disgusting behavior, and it's not even rational or logical. Yeah, the son built this dam. He used sticks and stones and leaves to build this water reservoir. This big white stone is a landmark. It shows up clearly in her charges, so there's no mistake of where she's saying it is. Look at this destruction. The soil is so poor, it's pure gravel. It's so hard to grow anything in here unless you condition it and work your way towards improving the soil. This was all hacked down last week. This is how far away my property is, and she's claiming that I built that dam. Yeah, some people have asked me to do a follow-up on the environmental charges against our Ecolodge. I'll give you a little description of what's happened in the last couple of days. So I made a mistake. The two officers came, and they discussed everything with me, and they gave me the paperwork at the end. And it was, you know, a bunch of paperwork on what, you know, is wrong and this and that. And in the paperwork, it states that there is what you do is you build a wall and it collects all the gravel, and then you harvest the gravel. And the Ministry of the Environment doesn't like that. That doesn't like it when you block the river to slow the river down. In the back part of the documents, there were photos of what happened here. And oddly enough, one of the photos is way over there. It's about 35 meters from this spot here. And the lady made a statement that I built this holding tank area for me to gather gravel. It's 35 meters that way. It's around the corner. It's hellish to walk through here. I would never build anything there to collect gravel over that way. So her making a statement that I built that over there is insane. And I actually asked her son while I had my my camera underneath a notepad. I said, "Your mom said that I built this here." And he says, "Oh, no. He admitted that, you know, that he's the one who built it. I would have no interest going all the way around that corner to build a dam there." Yeah, I turned the iPad on and hid it underneath some papers. I walked over and asked the young son of hers that I told him that I didn't build this and that it's in the denuncio, and it's not correct because I didn't even do any of this work. And he said, "You're right, you know, I built this," so he's going to rectify it with the Ministry of Environment, which he will not do. But anyways, at least I have the evidence, him saying that he did that, and that'll help my case. So anyways, we're going to lay charges against her for lying on the documentation. And our lawyer has spoken with the environmental guys, and their big beef is that Raposo. But the two inspectors that came here, they had their documentation in front of them, and they never bothered to check this dam thing out. They never went around the corner to see where this thing was. And I didn't realize that she had put that in the documentation that I built that dam. So we're going to try to rectify that this week, and we're going to try to get them to come back out to see that it was actually her who built that dam. In total disbelief, they have now started to put this destruction of their land into overdrive. The horse lady with Combo, the one that laid charges against me, she is cutting down, you know, trees like this that are sustaining the river. This is in the middle of the river on an island. And she cut that tree down. I have now gone into town and I laid charges against her. And it's like the Ministry of Forestry. I finally got a guy who would listen to me with beautiful video evidence to lay charges against this woman. So I'm fighting back. It breaks my heart to see them just cutting everything down. They're clear cutting everything. Big trees, small trees. They've got everything collected, all the stuff. They're going to set it on fire probably when I'm not here or whatever. They've cut everything right to the bone. The next time it rains heavy, everything is coming down again. So I'm going to have this blue cliff everywhere. You got to kind of think to yourself, where does this destruction come from? Where does this anger come from towards nature? Where does this anger come from when you see somebody else trying to create a food forest and a great environment for animals to hide out in? Where does this anger come from? It's like really bizarre. I don't even know what their objective is over here. They're cutting down everything. You know, they went through the exercise of cutting down everything on this hill. And now they're doing the same thing here. They're just cutting everything down right to the gray gravel. So somebody may be capable of explaining it to me. The guys that I know, they all say that these trees drink too much water. They need to be cut down because they're just consuming too much water. What would you rather have, these trees or this gray gravel? That's sort of my opinion. Like, you know, you learned your lesson already. Stop cutting down everything. I give this another week. They're probably going to come today's Sunday. They're going to probably come and cut down more. The destruction is endless. I just don't know why they're doing all this stuff. You know, it's kind of interesting to me. They see the result, the blue cliff that they cause. They come back a year later or a year and a half later, and they start cutting down absolutely everything again. And this stuff is so delicate because it only has like 4 inches, 6 inches of topsoil, and then it dies right away. Like if you hack at this, it has no way to survive because it's just such delicate soils. But I guess they don't understand that. They're just cutting everything down. And I'm waiting now for them to come and cut all these trees along the shoreline. I think that's their next plan, because they're already trying to work ways to get to the shoreline to cut it all down. Anyways, the destruction is insane. I'm really ticked off by these people denouncing me, like giving me an environmental charge, and then they're doing this the next week. Like, it is insane. Like, I don't get it at all. So on a positive note, we've decided to completely replant our shoreline. This tree here is called aliso. It grows in anything. It loves gravel and it grows very quickly. So we're going to do our whole shoreline. We're going to plant all this stuff out and make sure that when they come, they're doing another inspection in January, I believe. And I want this all filled in and growing by the time they show up. You know, fighting environment with environment is the best way, in my opinion. So we're waiting for them to come and re-inspect. And meanwhile, we're going to lay charges against this lady for falsifying the documentation. And the battle continues. It's actually funny, a little bit of a story. These huge trees, people are offering me $20 for the wood. I've had several people go as high as $30. And why would I take $30 and lose these trees? These trees are what are holding the shoreline together when it gets really, really treacherous in the river. And that's the mentality here. That $30 or $20, mainly $20, is a big enticement for them to sell the tree to these guys that cut everything down. You know, I see the environment not having any chance. This destruction is, I don't know how to describe it, is they just absolutely want to control nature. This cutting down of everything is actually really bizarre to me. And they just throw it in the river, hoping that the river will get rid of it for them. And that's their maintenance. It's just like, it's so destructive. Your trees fall down, clean them up. Don't leave them in the river for it to create problems for other people. Just absolutely, I don't know how to describe it. And I'm the guilty person, you know, that's what really ticks me off more. I'm the one who's done all this destruction.